In the previous video, we discussed about the how to read the case, and how to go through the case, and how to find out the different important dimension of the cases. Today, we'll I'll discuss about the analysis of the case, how to analyze the cases. First of all, you know that the case is a detail of the situation and that will give some dilemma to us and gives the scope to us for analysis and taking a decision or developing alternative evaluation of alternative and taking decisions. See, first of all, what we have to understand is what mistake generally we commit while analyzing the cases. We have to know it first. First of all, always we commit a mistake that that is we do not try to understand, not understanding the case, not understanding the case. This is it means that the what is the case actually, case sometimes seems like a different issue, but the case talks about another issue. That's why you have to know what is case related to. It means that you have to understand the case is related to the management problems, or case is related to the technical problems, or related to strategic moves, or whatever. You have to understand first. Likewise, you can say if the case is related with the misplanning, it is related to the case is related to the management problems. So first of all, we have to understand what is the case actually is, what issue the case is targeting to discuss. That we have to identify. How to identify, I discussed in the previous video. You can go through that video also to know it. And next stage, you have to our student, or we, all of us, we try to find out a simple and easy way. We cannot rightly analyze the case going through easy way. We have to go through a very difficult way. Generally what we used to say is, if the employees are if the employees are creating trouble in the organization, then simply we give idea, that is, lay off the employees, terminate the employees. Then it's a easy way we are searching, but we don't think whether we can apply this or not, what sort of threats we have to face while terminating the employees. We don't think all these things. We just think simply that simple assumption. In a very simple assumption, we analyze the cases, and we try to come out from the problems. Rather than going deeper to the problems, we try to come out from the problems. So that's why that is a wrong way to analyze the cases. That the whatever the idea you have provided, then the company has to invest a lot of money. A company has to change many more things within. So a company cannot do the work, or invest the money in such a simple ideas. That's why we have to think. We have to go deeper of the cases, and we have to identify the problem or solutions. But generally what we used to find is, rather than going deeper to the cases, we generally try to generate the simple ideas. That is another mistake. And another mistake is, we don't think about the practicalities. If you give any idea, suggestions to the management, right? Then and that should be applicable. You have to consider to the right financial situation, human resource or skill bank, skill inventory what sort of skill manpower they have, right? You have to think about it, and what sort of technology they have, what sort of culture they have, right? It's not that they simply right. You suggest that they make the right innovative organization, but to be an innovative organization, there must be a innovative culture, right? Large top management has to be ready, right, to invest more in innovation and creativity. You have to consider to these facts also, whatever the indication are given in the case. If the case does not give this sort of indications, you cannot suggest that you be creative, right, or innovative. You cannot say like that. That's why you have to think, right, whether because of the that is internal environment, or because of the right legal provisions, or because of the government decisions, we can use that or not. That idea what we are going to pass to the management, right? We have to think about this also, because you are the professional, right? You are providing suggestion, means you have to give the technique of implementing that idea into action also. Not only you can give the right that is suggestion, you have to simultaneously, along with this, you have to provide the technique of implementing the that idea into action. That's why if the right your idea is not practical, then you cannot give the technique or suggest the techniques, develop the techniques to implement it. That's why you have to think whether while providing the suggestion, right, that suggestion can be implemented into action or not. And next is you will provide the suggestion, and while analyzing the case, after analyzing the case, we provide the suggestion to the management, right? But without any evidence, if you suggest, right, then who will trust to your suggestion? Nobody will trust to your suggestion. That's why you have to support your suggestion, right, by the evidences. Evidence means either that is a theory what you learn, right, in your classroom, or what you learn from outside, or you have to, right, uh, support by the practice which is practiced by the different companies in the market, or mostly the companies are practicing in the market. You have to show that those evidence, and you have to suggest. But generally we do not do so. We just suggest, right, you can do this. Likewise, you can say in a case, if you we need to, right, we need to, right, that is increase the employment in the agricultural sector of Nepal. Then what we have to do, that we have to increase the entrepreneurship in agriculture, organize agriculture, we have to encourage, right, develop. For this, what we can do, we can have a right control custom. Okay, you can suggest you can have a control custom, because in agricultural product, India is also right control the custom. Right, China is also controlling the custom in agricultural products. So you can suggest in India this set of provisions are there, they are doing, and we can also do this, so that we can encourage to our right farmers to be organized and do the right agriculture professionally. And you can you have a market, right, government can show that you have a market, because we have controlled the market, right, or import from other countries in agricultural sectors to some extent, so that you have a market in the country. In this way you support it, right? So in this way you can support the right your suggestions. Otherwise, okay, control custom, or give support to the farmers. This sort of suggestion without any logic, any theoretical support, or any right practical evidences which are practiced in other countries or other places. You, if you suggest this sort of suggestion, right, rampant suggestion or suggestion in the hunch, that sort of suggestion will not be trusted, and no, the management, top management, will not be ready to implement this sort of suggestions. So these errors, common errors which used to be committed while analyzing the cases, are to be removed. Or you have to keep in your mind that the this sort of errors may take place. So I have to, right, give the right, analyze the case and give the suggestion, right, correcting all these errors. You have to keep in your mind. This is a right. This is a task of keeping in the mind. This is one. And how to analyze the cases? How? What are the process of analyzing the cases? Right. That is another one. Right. Process. And there's, that the first of all you have to identify the issue. I discussed in the previous video that the how to analyze the issues, right? The symptoms are generally symptoms are given in the case, and we do not show those symptoms as issue, right? Whatever the symptoms, right, are given in the case, you should not show it as issue. It's the outcome of the issues. Suppose the employees turnover is high in this company. If the case is given employee turnover is high, then you have to analyze that. What may be the reason so that the employee turnover can be high, right? That may be due to right, non-parity of the wages with other competing companies, right? So the motivation, demotivation is there, or career opportunity is low, meaning the promotion chances is low, even though the companies, even though the employees are competent enough and they have a sufficient qualification, experiences, even though company undermines to the existing employees. This sort of these are the issues you have to search all this, right? This is first. Second is, whenever you identify the issue, then what sort of problems that case is trying to explore, right? That is, that may be case may right, try to explore about the pricing policies, problem in pricing policies, or that is a management problems, right, in planning, decision making, right? The management is irrational, management is taking irrational decisions, right, without consulting, without going through the processes, right? Then planning, the right, directing, decision making, controlling type of issues are discussed, then it is a management problem. Right, the information are wrong, right? The information whatever management has got, and the because of those informations, right, wrong information, the management, management lead to the wrong direction. It means that is a database problem. That may be the database problem, data analysis problems, right? Or sometime technological issues might be raised, right? So what sort of problem the case is going to raise, sometime social problems they will discuss, like right, different classes of the customer, right? It is a social class, that is rich people, elite people, rich people, middle class people, poor people, right? Their character are different, elite people wants to be unique, but they will be ready to pay any amount, right? But poor people, they are very sensitive to the prices, so their nature, character are different. That's why this is talking about the social issues, social compositions, right? So you have to identify what sort of problem the case is going to discuss, or case is just exploring, right? That you have to uh, clearly understand it, find out it, right? And the next is, in the previous video I said this also, assess the response of the management. You know that the management is always, active, and that they're generally trying to be proactive, right? Before problem comes, they will try to attempt it. Even if it is not so, that whenever problem comes, the management will obviously try to solve it, and they will take a different type of decision or different activities they will carry on. you know Likewise, whenever the problem comes, they may start discussing with the employees. They may discuss, suppose, let's say, if the sales is decreased, then the CEO may call the meeting of the production manager, right, sales manager, right, or different departmental heads, right? They will call to and start discussing on it, why it is, right? Because sales may decrease due to sales force demotivation also, or sales department's inefficiency also. Sometimes it's not so. Sometimes sales decrease because of pricing policies, or if the right target market and the pricing policy does not match, then also sales may decrease. Next is, that if the design of the product is not correct, or the quality of the product is not consistent, or the right cost increase so that the price increased, all these things, right? So that's why they start discussion with them, and they will take the suggestion with them, and some policies, right, or some decision they will take, and they will implement, even though the problem may not be solved. So whenever the problem comes, right, the management obviously will be management obviously, right, will do some works, right, some activities, or some decision they will take, or some discussion they will make. There's some policies they will right, formulate and implement. So what management is doing, right, or what management has done, right, that is what sort of management intervention is there, right? That you have to know, because the same suggestion you cannot give, because that action already has been taken, and that action is already that is unsuccessful, failed. That's why you cannot give the same suggestion again. That's why you have to know what management intervention has already been made. And the next step is, you have to develop the right alternatives. To develop the alternatives, you have to know the internal and external environment. That's why you have to assess the internal environment as per the right information given in the case, and external environment as per the information given in the case. You have to analyze internal and external environment so as to develop the alternatives, right? Suppose you do not have liquidity, but the supplier, right, told you that if you pay in cash, I'll give the same material at rupees 10 per kg. But if you need a credit for 2 months, it is 11 rupees. If it is needed for 6 months, it is 13 rupees. There are three alternatives, you see. If you don't know the situation, right, your organization do not have liquidity, you will choose the first option, and you cannot do that work because you don't have liquidity. You need credit now. So you have to know both, right? External environment, supplier policy, right? External environment, supplier policy, and internal environment, your liquidity position. You have to know it. If you know, then you can decide that how long you need the credit, 2 months, 6 months. about two options, right? Then if you have a possibility of, right, if you have quickly asset, right, or you can convert that asset in a short span of time, then you can take the right low take the credit for 2 months, if not for 6 months, even though it is expensive. So, right, to develop the alternative, evaluate the alternative, in both the cases you need the information about internal and external environment. That's why you have to obviously, right, um, you have to obviously know the internal and external environment and analyze the environment, and what is the strength of the company, what is the weakness of the company, and what is the right opportunity and threats to the company, that you have to identify it. Then only you can rightly suggest a right solution you can draw. And then your work is suppose let's say right, you have a very lousy and lethargic employees, right, more aged employees. They're not doing the work very interestingly, right, or very efficiently. Then there are different alternatives to you, right? You can do golden handshake, right? But if you have a good financial position, golden handshake is a very good alternative. But you don't have money, you cannot give the golden handshake to the employees. But employees are not doing the work. You have to, right, lay off the employees. Then what to do? Right. If you don't know what is the position, financial position, internal environment of the company, you will suggest that you provide the golden handshake. But that is useless suggestion because company cannot provide it. So you may give the suggestion that is you transfer in a difficult area to the employees, which is right very far away or remote area, to those employees who are not effective to you. Then some employee may leave it. That will also give the relief because you don't have money, right? You cannot directly lay off because there is a union will give the pressure, lock up the company, right? To get rid of from that union action also, you have to transfer, right, the employees in a difficult areas, right, or so unmatched areas, right, so that some employee may leave it. In the olden age, employee may not go right far away from the house if they are in the junior positions. Even the senior position employees may also leave the organization. This is the right way. If you don't have money, if you have money, right, you can give the golden answer. So you must have to know the internal environment, and right, then you can suggest it. So you have to analyze internal and external environment both, and then right, you have to develop the possible alternatives. Yeah, different alternatives are available there, right? uh, any problem do not have a single solution. Every problem will have different number of solutions, right? Likewise, let's say demotivation of the employees is there, right? Then financial benefit, providing non-financial benefits, right? Both can motivate to the employees. You develop every problem will have a more than one solutions, right? So what you have to do, you have to, right, develop those alternatives, and don't try to evaluate while developing the alternatives, right? On that time, whatever the possible solutions are there, you try to develop, right, considering to, right, looking to internal and external environments. So, right, how to develop the alternative? From your knowledge. Alternative is not given in your case, right? Solution are not given in your case, not at all. So What you have to do, you have from the uh, knowledge what you have, right, what you gained before from your class, from your practice, or from the environment, anywhere else, right? Whatever the knowledge you have, based on that, you analyze, you develop the different alternative or different alternative solution of the problems, and then you have to evaluate the alternatives. Evaluation of alternative is to be made on the basis of resources, right? Because right, based on the resources, the alternative may not be suitable, even though that alternative is most beneficial, but because of the lack of resources, it may not be very effective. Let's say a small organization, which are entrepreneurial organization or proprietorship organization, they are generally autocratic. Their philosophy is generally autocratic. You know, if you want to make that organization very innovative, it's very hard, because you know that the sharing brainstorming is required for innovation. But in autocratic organization, right, brainstorming, sharing is impossible. Or the owner do not develop the learning organization to his or her organization. So you cannot share your idea, you cannot share your information, you cannot share your knowledge, and others also cannot share the knowledge. Then that innovation is not possible. It is because of management philosophy, right? That's why what I mean is, what sort of culture you have in your organization, how much resources you have. Suppose you want to make your organization very innovative, but the employees are traditional enough, right? You need a very talented people for innovation. You need to spend a lot of money. You have to purchase or transfer the new technology for innovations. Right. If you don't have that sort of resources, and not possible to get that set of resources, then even though innovative culture is very innovation is and a very effective way for gaining success, but we cannot do that. Right. That's why we have to see the resources, culture, what sort of culture we have. Right. Likewise, risks. Right. Risk factor also you have to see. Suppose I said just before also. Right. You suggested that lay off the employees to terminate the employees. That is a high risk. You cannot do that at all. It doesn't mean it is also one of the alternative, but risk is very high. That much of risk you can take, your organization can take or not. Your employees can take or not. Right. That is one. One hotel in our country, Nepal, right? One hotel lay off the terminated the this leader of the unions. They closed the company, but motivated to the lower level worker, right, by the management, and right, the employees who are who are involved in the lockup and other activities, they change them, and finally management terminated to them forever. That risk management is ready to take. And okay, then that alternative is also good. Right? The management is ready to take the risks and ready to bear the pressure from the government and political parties, and even the other unions, right? Unions of other similar type of organization. Then okay, that may be also the good alternative, but that every manager cannot take that sort of risks. So you have to evaluate the alternative, that what level of risks they have while implementing that alternative. Risk is very high or risk is low, right? And next is time. You know, right? Time bound. What is the time bound to you? You know, some alternative gives a very good remuneration and revenue, right? But it takes time to generate the revenue, right? Then uh, do your board or investor ready to wait up to that time? Because in a short span of time you cannot give the dividend. Will they be ready, right, to wait for such a long period of time? If not, that alternative is not good. So you have to evaluate the alternative in such a way. There are number of factors, other factors too, right? But you have to evaluate in such a way. And then finally, right, you have to select the alternative, right? You have evaluated, right, on the basis of time, on the basis of supposed risks, on the basis of resources required. And you see the right uh, advantages of alternative, disadvantages of alternative, and match with all these things, all these factors, right? And which one is matching most, right? That is, suppose your management is not ready to take risks more, all right, and they want the profit quickly. Then which alternative have less risks and can give the return on the less time period, right? Then that alternative you select. You don't think for the strategic alternative. You think a short-term alternative. So if your management is ready, wants to be the leader, right? Wants to be the leader, but it's okay if it takes time, no problem. Likewise, you can say the Gurkha Brewery, right? Gurkha Brewery is a leading brewing industry in Nepal, and you know that the the females, the 50 in Nepal there is 51, more than 51% of female population, but they are generating good income also. Some portion of the right female population is generating good income also, but they are not using the beer. That's why they introduced Somasvi, having a very low alcohol. It is targeting for a long period of time, right? They will right promote to them to use that low alcoholic item Somasvi, and then when they regularly use that, they will be habituated, and their metabolism, right, body metabolism demands more alcohol, so that they will develop the another product after some after certain years, and they will start using that. And when they become habituate on that, then the metabolism body, right, people wants more alcohol, then they will join to beer market. To join to the beer market, to the female customers, females, right, good earning females, they have started from Somasvi. It means they want to increase the market, right? They want to extend the market in the female population after a long period of time. Not today. They are ready, right? The management of the Gurkha Brewery is ready to do it, to wait for this. Then okay, that alternative is best alternative, and they are ready to take the risks. Even though they introduce it, female may not use it. There is a huge risk. Even though they are ready, then this alternative is good. But if the management is not ready to wait for such a long period of time, then that could not be the best alternative. That's why you have to match like this, and you have to find out the solution that you have to give the good they give the as a suggestion. But while giving as a suggestion, as I said, you have to give the practice. This set of practice has made in a different right countries, in a different products, right? Even whenever noodles came into the market of Nepal, people used to say that it is just like a earthworm, but now it is a part of the life. So to develop the market, it may take time, right? So evidence you can give like this: how other product, how other product practice um, the same type of strategy, same type of alternative, and how they got success. Or you link the theory. Likewise, you can say if right the employment demotivation is there, you do not say directly that the increase the salary increment is a difficult word, but you suggest as per the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy need theory, the physiological need, right? The company is providing salary, suppose let's say 10,000 salary in Kathmandu, then the right living cost, this salary cannot meet the living cost. So as per the Maslow's hierarchy need theory, people will not be motivated if their physiological needs are not fulfilled by the rewards provided by the company. So the salary is to be increased. In this way, you have to suggest by taking the suggestion, or you can say in a practice, right? Suppose our company, right, our rival companies, they're providing 15,000. This, average in average, our rival companies are providing 15,000 remuneration or salary to their employees of lower level. But this company or our company, right, which case we are analyzing, that is provided 10,000 rupees. So the to match with the right that is remuneration of the market, existing remuneration in the market, right, remuneration is to be increased. In this way, right, with evidence, you have to provide the suggestion, right? Then you have to suggest to the right management. Then this will have a value or worth. That sort of suggestion will have a worth. Otherwise, the suggestion given right spontaneously, whatever comes in your mind, then that sort of suggestion worthless, useless, and that sort of suggestion cannot be implemented. That's why this is a whole way of analyzing the cases. uh, uh, Thank you very much. And um, you go the previous video also I have uploaded right in YouTube, that is related to the reading of the cases, and this video is related with the analysis of the cases. And in next video, right, we'll discuss the case itself, right, how to analyze one case example. I'll discuss, and to get this all video, right, information, right, you can go through video and subscribe the videos. Thank you very much.